The Spirit itself bears witness with our spirit that we are the children of God. And if children of God, then heirs of God. And if heirs of God, joint heirs with the Christ. You see what I'm saying? You got to understand this, because now this is what's happening. The reason why things are stagnant and we cannot end this apocalypse that we are already in. Any fool can look at the weather and see right now that we in the damn apocalypse. Now remember, if you say, well, how can that brother be holy here if they're cursing? Listen, like I said before, the curse words are nothing but English or whatever European cultural words that you calling curse words now that has nothing to do with spirituality whatsoever. When the scriptures was even invented, there was no such thing as no English language on the planet. So how in the hell can a curse word, you see what I'm saying, that God gonna honor that, saying, oh, that's a curse word? Like God is that doggone shallow that he's worrying about what the devil you say in a language, because language itself is a defilement, because you used to deal with telepathy. And this is the lower thing, and you see what I'm saying? So therefore, since we have adopted this as the official language of the ghetto, why? Because we express ourselves better. You know a Negro don't get nothing unless you say, now listen, damn it, then you go. It's like a shock treatment. So, the key is we have been, what has happened is we have been using ceremony, white European ceremony, and passing that off thinking that's spiritual. And that's the reason why we can't get nowhere. You see what I'm saying? The white man and all his new, oh, and all this foolishness had nothing to do with God whatsoever. So, let's deal with some things right now. Like I said about Malcolm. The entity was with Malcolm, and when Malcolm time was up, that was it. Because there's no such thing as space and time, and everything is written in advance. So if Malcolm came on the earth and left the earth, that means that was all a part of the damn script. This is a script, doing time on planet Earth. And Malcolm came and Malcolm left. And that was all a part of the script. When Malcolm got out of the Nation of Islam, it was time for Malcolm to go. Malcolm left. You see what I'm saying? If he would have kept on and if he'd have went into all the other stuff, he might have been up here looking like doggone Andrew Young and the rest of these niggas. You see what I'm saying? Or he might have been like Farrakhan telling people to vote. Now, how in the devil, I don't care what nobody say, how in the devil can the mosque become, can outpass the Rainbow Coalition with the most voter registrations in 1996? They the #1 voter registration boys now. They done outpass the damn Rainbow Coalition in signing niggas up for the government. But yet he say he's supposed to be Jesus. You go back and look at the tape. Go back and look at Savior's Day. All the stuff he was talking about. You see, and I said, well, the 700 Club, did you ever get the tape? You have the tape. Farrakhan, Charismatic Beacon, cult leader. You have that tape? Did you ever get the tape from the 700 Club? No. Because I thought it was wrong for doing it, because we know that the crackers, we know the reason why they always do things. You understand where I'm coming from? But then again, on the other hand, a lot of people believe this thing. He says himself. So what I'm trying to say is still yet, people are asking themselves, why did people go, what was the outcome of the Million Man March? I'm still yet to get a good Bible answer on what came out of it. Now I know, but see, I understand the spirituality of 1 million black men coming and producing that kind of energy. But they don't understand the metaphysical reasons. They came to Washington, D.C. for an agenda. You understand what I'm saying? What is the agenda? Like when the people was asking them in the airport, news reporters was coming up saying, hey, how was it? What did you accomplish? And they was, oh, it was so beautiful. It was so beautiful. It was so beautiful. They was saying, but what did you accomplish? Well, it was just beautiful. It was just, they couldn't give an agenda. And where did all the money go? Where did all the money go? Look like to me, that's the biggest, what you call them when they pass out the, in church? Usher. That's the biggest usher movement that the black church ever had. All them boxes going up and down the thing. So we just got to look at things the way they are. You see what I'm saying? And don't be afraid to talk about nothing. If the spirit telling you, if your spirit telling you, hey, I got a question. Now, the Nation of Islam and every other black group told you that you take things without question when the white men tell you, right? Okay, that means the same thing for any person else. They're going to take you and put you on a bus to take you some damn well, and you still are not sure. You're supposed to ask a question, right? I'm going to burn up my gasoline for nothing? Shoot. You're supposed to ask a question. All right, let's get into a few things. First of all, let's get into the hard copy. You know what the hard copy is? That's the current event of what's going on now. You heard them last week now. First of all, we all know that the Crips and the Bloods have been a thing of the past almost, although they still gangbanging a little bit. It ain't nearly as bad as it was in the 80s, late 80s, early 90s. Now, why is it when this thing is almost neutralized that doggone Bill Clinton gonna come on TV last week and say that they are having that they're getting ready to go out and they're getting ready to do straight warfare to neutralize the gang members? What's the Crips and Bloods? We say we ain't heard that from him in a while. Most of them got a truth and stuff. So why is it that he's going to come on TV and say that we're getting ready to neutralize the gang members? You understand where I'm coming from? It seems to me that you know, for him saying these things, and he said we're going to wipe them out, basically what he was saying. So that means, now remember, any 3 or more black people hanging together in a group is considered a gang. So we're just going through some things that's going down. I should have brought this book. Does anybody ever seen any Voudoun practices where you see they take this chalk and they draw these symbols out to the gods? Those symbols are called sigils, and they bring about a certain amount of energy. Now it's interesting because I was in Philly 2 weeks ago, and they outlawed aerosol cans of spray paint. They outlawed it, whereas you got to be a certain age to buy it. But it's almost like spray paint. If you want to make some money, go buy all the spray paint you can find in New York City, and go like them brothers sitting out there on a table, get you a big table, and sell spray paint or sell it black market. You'll be rich. And the reason why is because anybody saw this. I thought New York had graffiti, but I think graffiti is almost a thing in the past. That's some beach street stuff, you know what I'm saying? Some stuff like that. But, you know, that's some stuff in the 70s and the 80s, and even though you do have it, it's not a phenomenon as it was. You know, that's past tense for you, basically. But how many people have gone to Philly recently? Anybody gone to Philadelphia recently? Philly, every inch of Philadelphia is graffiti on the people's cars, people living in the houses, their houses, even on the green stop sign. You know the green signs that say Philadelphia 2 miles? Negroes done got up there and painted. I don't know how in the devil a Negro gonna get on top of, on the green signs over the highway, painting their name. And I'm looking at this thing, and I said, wouldn't it be interesting if they understood these Voudoun sigils? They could bring a lot of energy in the city if they would paint those around. And the Spirit came to me and said, no, those are the sigils of the old gods. These are the sigils, are the symbols of the new gods. Which it meant was, that is archetypal symbols and images that's coming out of these younger children that they have to write on these walls, because it's not the big block letters. You know, fresh this and that. It's scribbles. And if you understand anything about sigils, there's a book called Practical Sigil Magic. Practical Sigil Magic by Frater U.D. F-A-R-T-E-R-U-D. Frater U.D. It's called Practical Sigil Magic. And you use these symbols, and these symbols can conjure up a certain amount of energy that you can use this particular energy to heal, to do anything with it, to change outcome of your life and do different things with it. So when we're looking at this thing, this is the reason why Philadelphia had this big 30 feet of snow, because they was invoking a certain amount of energies, and this particular stuff comes down. Now don't think that this stuff, now I know it might sound a little crazy, but if you understand the concept of what they talk about, these esoteric teachings of these sigil magic, you can understand that you could take these particular emblems or these symbols, and they create power. And this book called Practical Sigil Magic by Frater U.D. is one of the books that's dealing with that. And it even tells you how you can take your name and your particular one and create your own symbols. You see, very interesting on what we saw in Philly. Now, the beast is going to make movies because the spirit world inspires him to make movies to teach you. A movie came out in 1990 that you need to go rent. And I'm going to give you a list of movies in a few minutes. The movie, and nobody would ever think about this. They even see this thing. Some people saw it, but nobody would even think about it. The movie is called Quigley Down Under. Anybody ever saw this thing? Tom Selleck starred in the movie. It came on TBS. It came on again last night because I know it came on Thursday night. Anyway, this is a movie about him going to doggone Australia and going up against these people while they are killing the Aborigines. And they was taking these Aborigines and throwing them off the cliffs with babies and just shooting them down for sport. So now, we've all heard about how the white people killed the Tasmanians and the Aborigines and shot them down for sport. But here is a movie came out in 1990 that documents these things. So you're supposed to take this kind of stuff and use it as a documentation, not for the white man because he knows the history, but to show doggone hard-headed Negroes. Not dead Negroes, but Negroes that's conscious. Let me get into that right now. Because I told you about this the other week, the last time I was here. And this is the science on what's going on. First of all, and there's a book that comes out of England, I think the book is like $23 or $24 book. It's one of the best books written on the apocalypse ever written. It's bad. This book, if you ever get your hands on it, it's by Floris, F-L-O-R-I-S, I guess, Floris Press out of London, England. And the name of the guy is Emil Bock. I always mention this book. E-M-I-L-B-O-C-K. Emil Bock. Emil Bock. Do y'all have a Borders bookstore here? Borders bookstore. I know they have them in Philly and they have them in Detroit. They have an unlimited book. They have an unlimited book line, which means that they can order books from all over the world. Oh, you can get it. Okay, brother. Well, you see this brother back here? He say he can get them also too. The book is Emil Bock and it's called Apocalypse of St. John. He was a student of Rudolf Steiner. Rudolf Steiner, which I'm going to get into, was also the teacher of Adolf Hitler. Now, this particular book will explain, what's that? Well, I thought so, but listen. They might have discontinued it in publishing houses, but I was able to order one of the other books by the same company, and I know that book is still in print. You just have to work a little harder to get it. But in that particular book, they'll tell you that the apocalypse, when it starts, it will be 10 years in the making before anybody even got an inkling that the apocalypse is here. Because you would have been conditioned so much to bad news that you know nothing will not excite you. You understand what I'm saying? So they kill us 10 million people, well, you know, people die every day. These cliches will come upon your life until nothing will excite you. You understand?